What's up, party people, and welcome to another episode of Right Now, where I write a story from scratch and then I publish it as a masterpiece. So today my guest is Matt Knowles.
Hey, how you doing, man? Appreciate you having me on here. I know we're a week late after the hurricane nonsense from last week, but we're here now. Let's make it happen.
You should have set up shop outside with a table and a computer and a raincoat and just done it in the middle of Milton and just like rocked it out. Extreme writing in the hurricane.
Yeah, it's crazy when those hurricanes, because it's all about where that eye comes through and which side of the storm you're on and all that. And luckily my area was pretty much unscathed, but I know some people today that I did a show with 2 weeks ago that still don't have power back on yet. So it's crazy how close it was.
And you never know where it's going to land because it constantly is moving. I remember the big one we had up in New York was Sandy.
Yes.
And there were people without power for weeks. It was bad. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about comics and writing and all the fun stuff. So we've actually done a couple shows together.
Yeah, normally Travis Gibbs shows. Normally when Travis is on there,
on the circuit is what I like to say. Yep. We see each other on the circuit, and I just launched my own all ages book, The Fart Bomb. So cool. I have a soft spot for your Misfits Clubhouse.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so Misfits Clubhouse is we have some physical issues of it, but we wanted to start getting some different forms of promotion put in front of some different eyes. So we are taking all the stories that we have from Misfits Clubhouse and converting them into what's called vertical scroll, which is what Webtoon is. And then you take those stories and you can break them up. Like Pinball Madness is like a 16-page story in the comics. It ends up being 8 episodes on Webtoon, which is pretty freaking fun, which is pretty neat, because that way it's just little clips that you can share with people, and you've got like a year's worth of material out there. So it's pretty fun. So
I'm very interested in this vertical scroll. I know some people are getting into it. I like challenging myself and doing new and different things. You know, I enjoy playing with the tools in the toolbox. And this vertical scroll is a kind of a new form of, I'm not going to say new form, but it's a different form of sequential storytelling than a standard comic book, right?
Very much, very much. And the thing for us was fortunate is that virtually all of the stuff that we've released, we've got the colored layer separate from the lettered layer. So that way we can go in, because the word balloons may have to be in a different place. You may have to add dialogue in. You may have to cut out certain things just to make sure it fits in the vertical scroll format. So there's been some spots, like in some I was just working on just yesterday, where there's like whole sections of dialogue that aren't in the print version that have to get added to vertical scroll, so that way it actually makes sense. And like some of the panels you're looking at right here I think are really neat, because in the printed page, they kind of get lost because they're really, really small. But in vertical scroll, every panel basically gets its own day in the sun and own 5 seconds in the sun to be able to tell the story. So it's been fun seeing new life breathe into these stories that were released a couple years ago.
How much work is this, adapting it? Is it like a real pain?
Well, it definitely takes some getting used to. If you've got the letter layer separate, if you got the colors separate, once you start to get a flow to it, it's good. Some stories convert over easier than others. Our story Pinball Madness converted over pretty easily. The one that we just started releasing yesterday, Dress Up Mess Up, converted pretty easily. Our story Morty McFeathers is Missing, which is what's the last one that's going to be out there for the year. There was a couple panels that were a little bit difficult, but it's like you said, it's a challenge. It's fun. It's fun being able to see how can we take this thing that maybe shouldn't fit in this format and make it work.
How is this one continuous image, or is it broken up? Like, how do you?
It's normally about 4 or 5 images. I think that it's like 800 pixels by 9,600 or 10,000, something like that. And then it's pretty neat because all you do is you just go add it into the Webtoon background into their upload program, and it'll actually go and split it up and put all these multiple 800 by 10,000 strips seamlessly together.
Yeah, it looks very seamless. It looks very well done.
What you got to do, what you have to do is hide where the split is underneath a panel that has a black line at the bottom. So that way you don't have
little like right here, little tricks.
Like right there. Like if you go, there might be a spot where like the top of the panel is straight or the bottom of the panel is straight, so that way you don't see like the clip in the background fade.
Yeah, very tricky. It's like anything else. You do it enough, you find little corners to cut.
Yeah, and it's a whole different audience. I mean, I know people are like, "Well, isn't this going to hurt your print sales?" I'm like, no, because most of the people reading Webtoon don't care about print sales, and they're not going to be going to a web store to order it. They're not going to be going to a live event. So this is now the chance for them to actually be able to read the story. Where the artist, is in India. Nobody out there is going to be able to read it unless they're reading it on Webtoon. So it's helped them to have the door to this story open up as well.
It's hard to wrap your head around generational things. Like, I personally wouldn't read a comic like this. I mean, if somebody said it's the best comic ever, you got to do it. I'll try. Like, I'll give it a shot. I'll read it. But this is not how I grew up. This is not what I'm familiar with. So it's easy for people of an older generation where this wasn't really around when we started reading to just dismiss it. But you have to adopt this new stuff. You got to try it out. So I'm very intrigued by it. And I see a lot of people giving it a shot, or at least trying to adapt their stuff to it.
The way that I look at it is, just think about the way that you personally consume most of your media right now. You're on your phone, you're clicking a headline, you're scrolling through it with your thumb, and that's where you're getting your news stories, that's where you're getting your entertainment. This is designed and optimized to make a comic exactly like where you're getting all your normal news stories in your Google feed.
Can you schedule them? Like, can you just do the whole thing and then just like, I'm done, I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we have it scheduled to release every week on Tuesday nights at 9:00, which for Webtoon, you're supposed to release it late at night because that's, phone story consuming habits. People sit on their couch, going through their scroll. But yeah, we have them scheduled right now up through, I think, just through December 3rd. We have everything scheduled up through then, and we'll have one more for the year after that point, and then we'll go into season 2 in 2025, which is going to be all of our stories in the issue Sharks, Dragons, and Little Red Wagons, and then we'll go from there.
Very, very cool. I am impressed.
Well, very much appreciated. We definitely are still trying to build the audience out there, Webtoon, and the thing that's good about it is it's free. It doesn't cost anything to go up there and read the story and like it and comment and share. You do have a Patreon account that is attached to it. You're supposed to actually create a Patreon, so if people wanted to go up there and be like, let me throw a buck at it, they can, but you don't have to go into anything like that. You just go up there and read it and have fun with it.
Awesome. Well, when I was originally looking through all of your stuff, I have to come up with a theme and for these shows, and I used to like come up with it beforehand.
All right.
And then I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna wing it and pretty much come up with a theme like right before the show starts. So I was looking through all your stuff, and I mean, I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw they were in the clubhouse and they were playing Uno, and I got in the mood for Misfits Clubhouse and games. So that's going to be our theme for today is games.
Okay, games, any kind of games, like any whatever
kind of game. So this is going to be a tricky one. Because usually when I do an episode, for instance, if I think I just did an episode for school, so you can use the actual objects in the school, like ruler or pencil or desk. We could actually physically use those things in the story. With games, it's a little trickier because we can't reference a game. We can't like mention the game every single sentence. Right. So we have to use the sentence to mean something, use the word to mean something else. For instance, we'll say, Dad just had an operation, and operation would be the qualifier. So it's going to be.
Can we talk about like the different kinds of pieces that might be in a game, things like that?
Cool. You know, this isn't a nationally recognized television show, so I kind of make it up as I go. But I want it to be as fun and easy as possible. There's no disqualifiers here.
Oh, we got this. Then we got this.
So
games. There's a lot of room here. So
but you got to be clever with it. You got to think.
Oh
yeah. So we're gonna go to our good old fashioned Google Doc, make it nice, big and bright for the people at home, and I'm gonna start it off with something easy. So I'm gonna say, Claudia. What do you do when you come up with names? I write a lot of like short stories, and sometimes I just wing it and just come up with a name. Claudia seems to always be the one that is at the top of my mind.
Well, it's actually funny. We Steph and I were working on one of our stories today, one that we're going to be doing coming up soon, and we always try to make sure that we have names that are going to be fun. We'd rather have names that are things that are not normally things that you're going to see in a story, so that way people know, hey, if I've heard of Beninock, you're only going to ever think of Tales from Nocturnia because that's the only Beninock in a story. So, and it's medieval, so that's kind of where that's. Let's see here.
It depends on the story, because if I'm
Yeah.
if I'm writing a story, sometimes I'll look for a name that has meaning behind it. But if it's like a short story like this, I'm not really putting too much thought in. I'm just like, yeah, whatever I run with. So I did the boring thing here. I just said Claudia came to the sleepover, excited to finally jump into a game of Twister, with her friends. So I set up kind of an environment,
All right, let me see here.
We don't know how old she is. We don't know if the sleepover is a pretense for anything. It's all up in the air.
Okay, let's see here.
Her bestie Frankie was excited,
but had no clue what to expect.
Clue. I love it.
Boom.
You know what? To make this fun. No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to highlight them all, but it's fine. Her bestie Frankie was excited, but had no clue what to expect.
And Frankie could be a boy. Frankie could be a girl.
Frankie could be a girl. I'm going to say girl because a sleepover with boys. I'm going to make them young, and a sleepover with boys and girls at 7 years old is it's inappropriate. Her bestie Frankie was excited, but had no clue what to expect. So I need to come up with a game. So let me think of something. It's a big risk. There we go. Out of the way. Frankie said, but I'm determined to beat Fran in her own house this time. So, I mean, I kind of left it open-ended, but I'm talking about Twister when she says, I'm determined to beat Fran in her own house.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh. What's your favorite board game?
I like Clue. I think Clue is a good board game. I've always been a fan of Scrabble. Been a fan of Scrabble. I'm more a card game. I'm more canasta, spades.
Funny thing about Clue is, feel free to write. I have to fill the air.
Sure.
I always say the hard thing about this show is people don't usually talk when they write. So it's a combination of filling silence and trying to focus on the story. So feel free to ignore me. But the funny thing about Clue is I did a comic writing class at Comics Experience, and it was writing for established properties, which was pretty cool. And the instructor was Paul Allure, and he assigned everybody in the class properties that he'd written for previously, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and stuff like that. And he gave me Clue. So I guess he'd written a Clue comic in the past, and I had to write my own Clue comic, which is pretty cool.
Let's see here. I thought I have a sentence, but I'm going to get one here. Let's see here.
Claudia reassured her. I think next sentence, I'm going to start the sleepover, have them enter the den. No one has a monopoly on victory. The 7-year-old has quite the vocabulary.
Darn right. It's a smart 7-year-old.
All right. How old? No, you know what? How old is I'm like, how old is a 7-year-old? We'll do third grade. I think that might be 8, but Claudia reassured her no one has a monopoly on victory, so everyone has a chance.
Boom.
Descending the stairs together, Claudia and Frankie entered the den to find Fran. And all right, now I actually gotta keep going. Oh, okay. I'm gonna cheat using your own qualifications.
Let's do it.
Descending the stairs together, Claudia and Frankie entered the den to find what's it good? Grace and entered the den to meet Grace and Fran, who acted like a queen in her own castle.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So queen, piece of chess. I was actually going to descended to meet Fran and their other friend, Bishop.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
That would be bizarre. It's just it's three little girls and this grown, scruffy man named Bishop.
So let's see here.
And remember, anything goes. So
yeah.
I've had stories that played it completely straight up, and then from one reason or another, a dragon appeared. You know, so there's no limitations into what can happen next. Claudia's older brother. There you go. Stole my idea.
Hey, I'm gonna get a double dip right here.
Claudia's older brother, Bishop, peeked his head down the stairwell and asked, "Who wants to sleep in my room?"
Oh, geez.
You need any snacks?
You know, I'm gonna instead of using up too many in one sentence, I'll just leave that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna put another game reference in there, but we'll leave them all.
We try not to redo them. Descending the stairs together, Claudia and Franklin. Claudia's over. The Bishop peeked his head down the stairwell and asked, "You need any?" All right. Ill Bishop. Fran yelled before saying, "Get out of here before I get you in trouble with Mom." All right. So we're getting the setting going, but we got to get some plot. We got to have some conflict. I say we get this Twister game started because that's the conflict. It's kind of built in to the game itself. The conflict will arise out of the game because games are just breeding ground for conflict.
Oh, I hear you. Let's see here.
My daughter is 9. She loves to play War, and I want her to win. And War is an extremely hard game to lose.
Yeah,
you can't. I try to lose on purpose, and it's very difficult. You kind of have to cheat to lose. Same thing with Candyland. You can't really lose on purpose.
Or Monopoly. I'm like, Monopoly is my most hated board game ever.
Oh, I love Monopoly. I used to, when I was a little kid, I was weird. I used to collect Monopolies, like different editions.
I can understand if I can from
the collector aspect of it.
Yeah, the collector aspect of it, the way it looks is one thing, but the game, I like a game that's got very clear rules to it, not ones where the rules can just kind of change based on who's playing.
Yeah, I mean, the rules are pretty strict. Like if you ever actually play by the rules that they set forth. The great line in Sopranos, I forget who said it, but they were playing Monopoly when they were at the lake house in the final season. He's like, the Parker brothers took the time to think all this out. I think we should respect that. Whatever you little brat said, Bishop, better not cheat or you'll be sorry. All right. Fran ignored her brother as he vanished back upstairs and turned her attention. I have no idea what the game would be, so I got to think of one. Ring ignored her brother as he vanished back upstairs and turned her attention to the... Wait, hold on. Game finally... Okay. Turned attention to the box of Twister on the floor, fully prepared to start a war. Ignored her brother as he vanished back upstairs and turned her attention to the box of Twister on the floor, fully prepared to start a war. Let's get this party started. You all are pretty serious.
Let's see here.
What are we thinking? You need some... You got to come up with a game.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I was just started rattling off chess pieces. Pawns and castles, rooks and kings. No, just Google list of board games. Ticket to Ride, Battleship, Seven Wonders. What's that? Backgammon, Shoots and Ladders. Shoots and Ladders would be a cool one to try to figure out. Connect Four. I'm going to try to do Connect Four. You were all pretty serious about this, said Claudia. Claudia is kind of our protagonist, right? I mentioned her first.
Exactly.
Oh, come on. Well, what do you got?
You're pretty serious about this, Claudia. My family only gets crazy over skee ball.
Skee ball, name dropping the games.
Boom. We had to go to Dave and Buster's twice this past weekend, and so me and my daughter were hitting all the stupid games like that. But this Dave and Buster's didn't have skee ball, and we both were like, "How can you have a game place like that and not have skee ball?"
I've never been to a Dave and Buster's with skee ball.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, maybe that's not true. Maybe I just can't picture it because the ones I go to are big, so I'm always so captivated by the massive, the big games. I probably ignore the skee ball in the corner. But I did play skee ball on a boardwalk in Delaware this summer, like an old school one. That was very fun. You all are pretty serious about this, said Claudio. My family only gets crazy over skee ball. Fran, all right, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
I'm going to pat myself on the back for this. Fran unraveled the mat onto the floor and replied, "It's a way for us to connect for I have to figure out what to say after that. It's a way for us to connect for the future. I don't know, but I'm happy enough using a different Connect for.
Let's see here. Okay, here we go.
So we got 4. I tried to. I didn't want to have like a huge slumber party because I always feel the more characters, the more complicated the story becomes.
Yeah.
If you had a slumber party of like 20 people, you can't keep track of them all. This sounds like time travel, questioned Claudia. And your bigger game. Dun dun. These 7-year-olds, man.
That's right. These 7-year-old. This is like
Scheming and manipulating.
it's just how they're written in like Disney movies where you're like, what 10-year-old is going to be able to understand all these things and be able to unravel this giant mystery that's going to save the world? Come on.
All right. This sounds like time travel question, Claudia. Am I just a pawn in your bigger game? You'll soon find out. Fran taunted as she spun the dial. Now, I don't have an element, so I'm going to try to shoehorn one in. Let's see. What are we going to do? Can we include video games? I guess why not, right?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, the prompt wasn't board games. It was just games. So.
It was just games. Just games. I'm just looking through a list of games right now for something to stand out. All right. Let's go back so I can see what the sentence is. You'll soon, Fran taunted, as she spun the dial with immense control. So Control is a video game I'm playing right now.
All right.
It's actually it's interesting. It's fun. It's not great, but it's good enough. You play video games?
I try to, but for me, if I'm playing video games, it's normally going to be college football, which I haven't had a chance to get the new game, even though I was like a religious player of it back when NCAA 14 was out. Soul Calibur or Mario Kart. I just haven't had time recently to be able to do much, but that would be what I'd be playing.
I love big story like games like Assassin's Creed that take like 40 hours to beat.
Right.
I don't have the time for them anymore. So I look up how long it takes to beat a game before I play it. I was like, Control, 9 hours. I can knock that out. I think that's good. But yeah, I'm into all like indie games now. 4 hours, 5 hours, kind of artsy, simple games.
Let's see here.
I gotta come up with a new. What is Stratego? Like, is that strategy in?
Yeah, isn't Stratego like
It's a game, but like, what's the word?
I feel like it's Stratego. Yeah, I don't know what.
Is it like Italian for?
It might
for strategy?
Boom.
Stratego etymology. The word stratego comes from the Greek word strategos.
All right, it's probably just another form of strategy. So.
I'm not going to try to use stratego in a sentence.
That would be a very bizarre one for little kids to be saying.
When the dial stopped, a dragon door emerged on the wall, revealing a dungeon door emerged on the wall, revealing a dragon.
It's like a Dungeons and Dragons in there. Boom.
Okay, when the dial stopped, a dungeon door emerged on the wall, revealing a dragon. Okay. Now we're getting to a little fantasy action.
Why not?
Dial stopped, a dungeon door emerged on the wall, revealing a dragon. All right, I'm going to edit this.
Do it.
Here. I'm going to take out this time because it insinuates that they played this game before, and I think it would be easier if we assume that this is the first time.
All right.
When the dial stopped, a dungeon door emerged on the wall, revealing a dragon. Should get my kids in here. They would know better than I do. Damn, have I hit a wall with games? I think that might be the case.
Probably should get into pieces.
Here. I don't know if this is a real thing, but apparently there's a board game called Horrified, which seemed perfect. When the dial stopped, a dungeon door emerged on the wall, revealing a dragon.
Yep, I just looked it up. There's actually a real game.
Both Claudia and you thought I was lying.
No, I'm just saying it's legit. I mean,
we checked it out. Yes.
Yeah, it's there. It's good.
It's like Family Feud survey. Yeah, works.
Two people said.
Yeah. Both Claudia and was it Fran?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Fran. Frankie. Both Claudia and Frankie screamed, utterly horrified by the sudden appearance of the creature. Here we go. I need to start looking for my next game because otherwise I'll be stuck. All right, I got another clever one. I'm just gonna start making like a list. Just I need to keep these at hand. You're doing better with this than I am. I'm getting beat at my own show. New documents. I can't say them out loud because I don't want you to use them. Did my computer just die? No, son of a. That's what happens when I use my wife's laptop for the show.
Boom. Both Fran and Claudia stood frozen in the corner, watching the insanity unfold, clutching their hands over their hearts.
Perfect. All right. I know what I want to do. It's going to be very hard to do it, but I'm gonna be pleased with myself after I do it. So I'm not going to do it now because I don't think I have the opportunity to do it. What does Scrabble mean? Is that an actual word?
I don't know I think Scrabble's a play on the word scramble.
It says Scrabble. Scratch or grope around with one's finger to find, collect, or hold onto something. An act of scratching or scrambling for something. I guess
hello 1940s. I guess that works.
Okay. All right. I'll use it. I can work with that. The dragon reached its claw through the door, scrabbling around the den in search of its next meal. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do next. It then bellowed, "If anyone to cross this bridge, you must tell me the secret word." All right.
So clearly bridge is the game I just used there.
Okay. All right. Shut up, Simon. Frankie shouted. She ran toward the dragon. As she ran forward, jumped toward the dragon and kicked it square in the snout. Does dragons have snouts? I guess they have snouts, yes. Right?
Yes.
Is that what you would call that?
There we go.
Ouch, that hurts, said the dragon. I think I know what I want to do. Why did you call me Simon? My name is Cribbage.
Cribbage the dragon.
And why did you call me Simon? My name is Cribbage. I'm gonna put a semicolon there. Ouch, that hurts, said the dragon. And why did you call me Simon? My name is Cribbage.
I know where my next sentence is going.
Ignoring the correction, Claudia pushed the dragon back out the dungeon door, and what's a good dialogue tag here? Not taunted. You know what? Let's just have Google do it for me. Will cinnamon pop up? No, it doesn't. Word does that. We'll give you synonyms right in the taunted synonym. No, I don't want teased. You know what? I'm going to swap out taunted here. Where did I write taunted?
Last word of the sentence.
Teased. No, up further. I didn't want to use taunted twice.
Oh, okay.
Claudia pushed the dragon back out the dungeon door and taunted. No, instead of pushed, let's do punched. Claudia's a little badass.
Yeah, I can suck.
Claudia punched the dragon back out the dungeon door and taunted. Here's your ticket to ride back to where you came from. So, Ticket to Ride is my game. Fran screamed, "You all calm down so I can concentrate."
So, concentration.
Okay. What Fran came. Hold on a sec. Did I screw up? Fran is Claudia's friend?
You've got Fran, Frankie, Claudia, and Grace.
Grace. So oh no, so I screwed up. Not Claudia. I didn't want Claudia to punch it. Who summoned the dragon?
I think Fran did, so I'll change Fran to Grace.
So I wanted Fran to punch. Fran was the one who summoned the dragon.
All right, so then I need to change this here to both Grace and Claudia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Frozen in the corner.
They're the new ones. They're the girls who arrived together.
Correct.
All right. So
actually, Claudia and Frankie entered to meet Grace and Fran, so it's one of each.
Why'd I choose Fran when we had a Frankie?
I'm saying.
Claudia and Frankie arrived together. Grace and Fran
were already there.
Grace and Fran were already there, and it's Fran's house.
Yeah, and Bishop and Fran are brother and sister.
All right. So, shut up, Simon, Fran shouted as she ran forward. Fran punched the dragon, ignoring the correction. I'm going to get rid of that. Fran punched the dragon back. The dragon went, "Tony, here's your ticket to ride back to where you came from." Grace screamed, "You all calm down so I can concentrate and figure out the phrase the dragon is looking for." Okay. Grace is Fran's friend.
Yes. Grace and Fran, yeah.
You're going to like this. After a second to think, Grace erupted. Jumanji!
Here we go.
But nothing happened.
Let's see here.
You want to keep the door open, huh?
Yeah.
And that happens with the dragon Spitfire towards the Cowering Quartet. I like that.
And Spit is the game. Spit's a card game.
I remember Spit. I haven't played that in ages. I'm gonna betray our kind of narrator here and do this anyway. So putting on a brave poker face, Fran took a deep breath, composed herself, and said, no, I want to close the door because I want to move on. But nothing happened. The dragon Spitfire towards the Cowering Quartet and put it on a brave poker face. Fran stood tall and declared. What did she declare? What should be the word? What should be the word to shut the door?
I think the word is.
Let's do something silly. Banana. I already use poker, so I don't have to use a game. And declared banana, causing the magical door to vanish, to disappear. I used vanish before. Did I spell that right? No, I did not. It's okay. All righty.
Let's see here.
I want to try to do my special one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, though. If I don't use it by the end, I'll let you know what it is.
All right.
Because I think it's very clever.
Let's see here.
I need more games. Give me games, Google. How about card games?
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at was card games, and I'm pretty much exhausted that. But I was just looking at regular card games, not like Uno style games. Let's see here.
I mean, we haven't used King or Jack or Ace. Those seem easy to fit in somewhere.
Let's see here.
I want to do Uno, but we have no Spanish characters.
Yeah, really.
How do you fit in a Spanish word into an English and do a 7-year-old girl English speaking sleepover? Hurt. Claudia slapped a high five with Grace, right? Grace is her friend.
Yeah.
Claudia slapped a high five with Grace and declared she's one creative joker. Ha 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 ha.
You know. There we go. Now we are back where you want to be.
I mean, we don't really need that last part.
Okay.
Do you want to get rid of it?
No, I've just given you. I was giving you the meatball. If you want to go a different direction, that's totally fine.
Because I think it insinuates that they're not playing the real game.
Okay.
And I think that this is the real game.
Everything is the real game.
Everything's the real game. Claudia slapped a high five with Grace and declared she's one creative joker. Now we get back to Claudia. Still, I'm going to cheat and use kind of a word. I think you did this before, so there's precedent.
I use the 10. Yeah, concentration.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So still traumatized. Claudia and Fran both. Oh, we're gonna do 1 for 1, 3 for 3 now, which basically means we each have 3 sentences left.
Sure. Okay.
We're winding down to our hour. So same thing. It's just I have a sentence, you have a sentence, and then we each do that 3 times to wrap it up.
Okay, sounds good.
Still traumatized. Claudia and Fran both felt as if they were the solitary, sane people in the room. So it's a version of solitaire. So I have 2 sentences left. You have 3.
All right.
So now that we know we're coming to our conclusion, we have to find a way to kind of tie a nice bow on this.
Yeah, I've got an idea here.
Ideas are tricky on this show.
Yeah,
because I loved it. I love doing this because I'm a plotter. That's like what I'm naturally am. I control all of my stories. Mm-hmm. So to just kind of get rid of that and just write 1 sentence at a time. It's nice. It's a different change of pace.
It definitely is. I'm much more into like I write. Misfits Clubhouse is actually the absolute opposite of what I normally do, where you're writing very short, concise things. I'm used to let's have this giant universe with all these interconnected pieces and all this kind of stuff. Let's see here.
A lot of times writing for kids is just about gags, just a gag after a gag after a gag. Still traumatized, Claudia and Fran both felt as if they were the solitary, sane people in the room. Fireflies is a game?
Firefly is a game, yeah. I just looked it up. It's a tabletop game.
Fireflies are making bug ruckus down there. Everything all right? All right. Did she say shut up already? No, she said ew. So
she said shut. You said shut up, Simon. Fran shouted towards.
Okay.
Ooh, Bishop, get out of here. Shut up, Simon. Fran.
You fireflies are making bug ruckus down there to create the rematch ambition. Everything all right? Stop interrupting. Fran? Yeah, Fran. No. Frankie. No. Why am I...
Fran's brother is Bishop.
There we go. Because I wrote Fran up there when it was actually Frankie. Stop interrupting, Fran. Called back. No. Yelled to him. All right. This isn't exactly what it is, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're trying to get this game back on, which is a play on backgammon.
Ah!
That was what I was trying to use. It was tricky. It was a tricky one.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I try to do back game on, but that people don't talk like that. So I had to kind of jumble them. So I have 1 more. You have 2 more.
Let's see here.
How are we going to wrap this up?
Let's see here.
I know what I would do to wrap it up, but I cannot share plot details. It's New York Comic Con Eve.
You going to any of the time at New York Comic Con?
I'm going to just Thursday.
We went a couple years ago, and it was the first one back after COVID, and that was freaking insane. I mean, like
people were stir crazy.
Yeah, it was because being in Florida, we had already been back. I mean, Florida basically never shut down when it came to conventions. The first convention back in the country was actually in Florida, and we were at that. So we were doing shows for a little while before New York Comic Con came back. But just we were at Steph at one point, she's like, "Hey, do you realize that we're in the room where the morgue was?" I'm like, "That's what you want to hear." And we were in the Javits Center morgue. It just was wild to think about people dying there, and then now we're out here trying to shill comics.
It was weird. It was kind of a weird time. I remember telling my kids, I'm like, "You're gonna grow up remembering this because this is bizarre."
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a con in April of that year, and I paid for the table up front. Never got it back. That was it.
That sucks. That happened. Every show we had that got canceled or postponed, everybody was good with it. Most of them ended up coming back at some point, so we were able to get our fees back that we had paid. But Killer's a game. That's why that's another tabletop game.
Okay, so I have one more, and then you have one more. This is going to be Killers to Claudia, but we haven't even stepped foot on the play mat yet.
I know how I would wrap this up if you
ruined my plan.
Oh, I did. That's good. That's good.
I was going to have them get scared and leave. I thought that would have been a nice way to end it, but you had her double down. Now she wants to keep playing. This is going to be killer, said Claudia, but we haven't even stepped foot on the play mat yet.
I have a way to get this moving if
well, you have one more sentence left.
Yep, if you leave me the room for it, I might have a fun one.
All right. What's her name? Fran?
Yeah.
Oh, Fran realized. I spun red and then placed her foot down on the colored dot. I do not have a element there. I need to come up with one, so I'm going to try to force one in. No, that's not. I was going to say, I have the memory of an old maid. That doesn't work. I need something to throw in there. Let me see. There's a card game called Dose. I didn't know that.
I think it's the offshoot of Uno, to be real. I think it's
that's what it looks like. It's from the same people.
Yeah, it's like the next version, them trying to make more money off of Uno.
Realize I spun around and then place your foot down on the colored dots. I need to come up with something. Let's go. Video game list. Just come up with a list of video games. Let's just throw Grand Theft Auto in there, as she committed Grand Theft Auto. All right, we'll do this. I could find a way to fit Doom in here, right?
Yep.
Oh, Fran realized. Down on the colored dot with sudden doom. I don't know.
Hey, you know what though? That actually, I'm glad that you ended that like that, because that's literally what I needed you to do to make my sentence make sense.
All right, you got one more. Let's wrap it up.
Let's see here.
Oh. It's Wednesday night. It's Agatha night. You an MCU fan?
I'll watch it when I mean, there's certain shows that I am a fan of. I'm not a fan of the giant Marvel universe, even though I'll watch it because I just feel like it's gotten out of control. And I think that they're trying to make it so big that they start to diminish how big things were in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like everything's like,
yeah. I wrote an article that was like the MCU was always going to implode. You know,
yes.
What made it great was that it had so many characters and so many storylines, and it could only get so big before you're like, well, what happened to this character we haven't seen in 10 years? You know, it kind of but you know what? I'm an MCU fan. I love consuming all of the stuff, but at the same time, I acknowledge not all of it is great, you know? So I just like being back in the universe. So that's why I enjoy Agatha, but it's been pretty good so far.
Oh man. I had a good sentence to end this with on my brain.
I ruined it.
Like, no, we're good. No.
I distracted you with my witchery.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I got to find the game to put in here.
Got to find a game. Yeah, I've done enough of these to realize that there's two ways to approach the sentence. You either find your thing and then build the sentence around it, or you just write your sentence and then find a way to
hope something. Yeah.
You know, it'd be awesome if you found a way to fit Left 4 Dead in there. I'm just looking at video games. They continued the game unaware of the Resident Evil that lurked inside.
It's like I gotta make sure that I'll have the biggest run-on sentence with a bunch of commas known to man. That's the best way to do this. Let's see here.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's right. And you already used Doom, so let's see here.
I did use Doom. Doom was an easy one. Let's see if I can help you. Here, use Shadow of the Colossus. Street Fighter. That's a good one. Portal would work. Oh, yeah, because we've already established that there's been one Portal. You could use Portal. There we go. Revealing a portal. I feel like we need another sentence in between here.
Yeah.
Like the first portal opened up when she spun. So let's just do this just for the sake of making it make sense. Now it's my turn. Claudia, side. And no, we're going to do this. Side. While flicking the spinner, and you finish your sentence, and I'll find a way to get a game in there.
All right. Yeah, Doom should be in that sentence. So now it's my turn, Claudia, side when flicking the spinner with sudden doom or something like that. Because the Doom being there would be good.
Sudden doom, and then I'll figure out a different one for up there.
Yeah.
Is Snap a game?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, snap. Fran realized. Yeah. All right. Very good. Now it's my turn. Claudia's side while flicking the spinner with sudden doom. The floor opened up, revealing a portal to which Grace exclaimed, "Oh, well, we can't stop now. Bring on more dragons." Now
just can't stop as a game.
Well, we got two.
That's right.
And now we end it with my favorite part, the end. We left it open-ended so they continue the game.
Darn right.
So at the end of every episode, I like to do a little word count guess. So what do you think we got here?
Word count guess. Let's see.
We got about halfway through the second page, but we had a lot of paragraph breaks. So
I'm going to say 300.
It's going to be more than that. Usually they're around 600.
All right. My guess is 300. So
You're going with 300?
Yeah,
I think
we'll
it's going to be less than 600. So I'll go to play safe. I'll do 450. Tools, word count. 556.
Wow, did not expect that.
556. Yeah, we nailed it. All right, Matt, this was a lot of fun. Talk to me about Misfit Clubhouse one more time before we wrap things up.
Yeah, so Misfits Clubhouse right now is on Webtoon. It is our Saturday morning cartoon in comic form story we have going on. We've already put I Don't Want Any Asparagus. We've put Pinball Madness. Right now we're working through Dress Up, Mess Up. It's one of the 4 main titles that we have. We also do Heirs of Isildur, which is apocalyptic sci-fi set in a steampunk world. We're going to have some big news about that coming up here soon. Tales from Nocturnia, which is medieval fantasy. And then I Am Keto, think Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur meets Mad Max. If you want to know anything more about that, you can go to linktree.com/InSymmetry Creations, or you can go to /InSym, INSYM on Facebook, and you can see what we're all about.
That's a pro outro right there.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, guys, this was a fun one. I had a good time. It's different. It was a little more challenging because it wasn't the standard kind of show. We had to get clever with our things, but I think we pulled it off.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you for inviting me on, man. That was fun, and good luck with your campaigns you got going on, and good luck the next time you do one of these crazy things.
Peace out.
All right, see you, man.
Thank you for writing with me.
Hey, it was good stuff, man. You know we're still live, right?
We are still live? Yeah, I forgot the thing. Bye-bye.